Howdy y'all, it's Tony, Director of Sports Nutrition for University of South Carolina Gamecocks, and today I'm talking to you about our internship opportunities. If you perhaps think that sports nutrition might be right for you, then you can take a look at this video and see some of the opportunities that we have here at the University of South Carolina. But these are some of the things that you're going to be doing. So I break it down into 3 levels. There's the individual level, team level, and the program level. So let's talk about some of the responsibilities and duties that you will have as an intern in all of those levels. First is the individual level. So in the individual level, we try to think about what do we do with the athlete in a one-on-one setting. Things like this are counseling, assessments, and screenings. Those are the main ones. So what I mean by counseling is I will meet one-on-one with an athlete to discuss whatever their goals are and to talk about some plans to be able to achieve them in a nutritional context. Now, as an intern, you're not going to be doing this on your own, but we do a I do, we do, you do sort of philosophy here. So you will start off by observing me counsel an athlete and taking notes on that. I'll probably have you do the charting note, like the ADIME for that. I'll let you ask questions at the end and we can sort of talk about what sort of counseling strategies that I used. After enough of those sessions, I may let you do a mock counseling session or a virtual counseling session with another intern or maybe a volunteer, something like that, so that you can develop those skills and be able to do that yourself. The other thing that we do is we do assessments and screenings. So for example, I may have you do a sweat test with an athlete. So that could be your standard sweat rate test, something that you've learned in a sports nutrition class. If not, I'll teach that to you. Maybe using a sweat patch test, something that's we use from the Gatorade Sports Science Institute. I might have you do a body composition assessment or to help with the operation of the machine. We use a bod pod with that. So those are some of the individual level things that I may or may not be having you do with an athlete. It really depends on what we have going on that day, that week, or the time that you're here. But we will touch on all of these things to make sure that you get a good experience. So that's what we'll do on an individual level. As far as a team level, what I typically do with the teams is I address their nutrition stations. You can call them fueling stations, whatever you will. And then those require some hands-on input from our interns and from the dietitians. So I may have you do the inventory, the stocking, and the dissemination of the nutritional products that we give at the nutrition stations. Another thing that I do with the teams is I do team talks. So we'll do an education where we put together a topic and we present it to the team so that we can educate them on like hydration or eating protein or something like that. I'll have you watch me do the first few. Then we may set a goal for a topic that you feel comfortable presenting on, and I'll either have you present to a group of athletes or volunteers so that you can get that skill. So we talked about individual things, we talked about things that we do with the teams. Also with the teams, I'm just going to have you shadow and observe. So I'll have you work with observing a weightlifting workout with the strength coaches. I'll have you observe some practices. I'll have you talk with the director of operations for the teams. And we have many different teams here at the University of South Carolina. So you'll get an opportunity to work with almost all of the sports and get a good immersion and understanding of what goes on in between those sports. So those are some team level things. We talked about individual, we talked about team. Now we're going to talk about program level. So on a program level, these are things that we do on the entire wide scope that affects everybody. So for example, something that we've done recently is we've rewritten a policy. So I'll have you look at some of our policies, like on body composition policy or eating disorder or iron testing or something like that. and we'll talk about what goes into writing a policy like that. I'll probably give you an exercise where you write maybe your own policy, and we'll kind of talk about that, the ins and outs. Another program level thing that we do is I've created a sports nutrition app. Well, I haven't created the app, but I created the scaffolding within the app that allows us to work with our athletes. We can message them through Messenger, we can do counseling sessions, we can do education. So I'm going to show you this platform and give you an opportunity to work within that, to also give you some tech skills to boost your ability in reaching and teaching athletes. I also attend meetings to report my findings or the process of what I'm doing to maybe administrators or coaches, and so I will also invite you along on those meetings as well. So those are some of the things that we do on a program level. Going a little bit further into the education, whether that's individual, team, or program level, I may have you create some content for that. So you may be making a handout, or you may be writing a protocol or a recipe or something like that to be in the creation process. And you are going to be included in all of that. So not only do you create the content for that, but I'll talk to you about how the transfer of knowledge works with the athletes, how to assess if your initiatives were successful. Was that a good lesson? Was that a good handout? I'll be able to show you all of that. So I hope that this video gives you some insight into what you'll be doing with me. And let's talk about the elephant in the room. You're an intern, you're a volunteer. You are looking at this, and you probably have heard or maybe understand that not all programs are equal. When I was an intern doing, for example, my food service rotation, I made a lot of food. And that's not what I went to school for, not to not learn that, but I felt that the entire rotation that I did was they were using me for grunt work. There is going to be some of that in this internship, but it is really split up into the part that I am teaching you and working with you one-on-one, but you're also going to be doing some work with me, but it's about 50-50. So I want you to understand that there's that expectation that there will be some work, but I am really going to invest in you. So I just wanted to cover that really quick, but overall, you'll be doing things on an individual level, team level, a program level. Specifically, what we do depends on the availability of opportunities when you do the rotation with us, but we will sit down and show you a little bit of everything. Then after that first week, we'll talk about what really resonates with you, what is going to be your focus, and we will plan that out together. It's okay to start with a little bit of uncertainty when you go into this program, because the expectation is going to be that I'm going to teach this to you. So I hope that helps you to get excited about this program, to be curious about this program, and if you do want to intern with us, please contact me. I'm going to put my contact information out there. Shoot me your resume, your goals, your experiences, and let's talk. Maybe the University of South Carolina Gamecocks Olympic Sports Nutrition Program could be a good fit for you. So if you have any questions, let me know, and thanks for watching.